Hello, everyone. I'm Melinda Talbert, Chief Executive Officer of MJ Talbert Tax Firm. Today, I'm going to show you how to properly complete Form W-4. The amount of income tax your employer withholds from your regular pay depends on two things. The first thing it depends on is the amount you earn in each payroll period. The second thing it depends on is the information that you give your employer on this Form W-4 that we're going to go over today. One of the main reasons taxpayers are having too much taxes withheld is because so many people just aren't sure how to properly complete this form. Hopefully at the conclusion of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how to complete this form. As you can see here, at the top left corner of the actual Form W-4, it lists the purpose. It says, complete Form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. Consider completing a new Form W-4 each year and when your personal or financial situation changes. Now let's talk about the financial situation changes real quick. Here you'll see a chart with a lifestyle change. These are different financial situation changes. These are examples of different financial situation changes. If you get married or if you get divorced, if you have a baby, if you adopt a child, if you lose a child, if you purchase a home, if you sell a home, those are just a few examples of a financial situation change. People overpay taxes yearly simply because they don't revisit this form each year. Anytime your financial situation changes, you should always update this form. Once you complete a new Form W-4, if the change is for the current year, your employer actually has 30 days from the date that you give them your revised Form W-4 to put that form into effect. One thing that I want to briefly explain before we start is head of household. Head of household is one of the misunderstood filing statuses. This is also listed at the top of Form W-4, the definition of head of household, right here. It states, generally you can claim head of household filing status on your tax return only if you are unmarried and pay more than 50% of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and your dependents or other qualifying dependents. Even if you have your own home and even though you're paying 50% of the cost of keeping up that home, you must have a dependent or a qualifying individual to be eligible for the head of household filing status. Now, for the duration of this video, our case will be a single parent with 3 kids that has $4,200 child care expenses for one of the 3 kids, and her yearly income is $32,000. Her filing status will be head of household. Alright, so the first thing you'll want to do is complete the personal allowances worksheet portion. This will actually be your portion to keep. You would complete and submit this bottom portion to your employer. Alright, let's rock and roll. So, line A, it says, enter 1 for yourself if no one else can claim you as a dependent. We will enter 1 here. No one can claim our case study client as a dependent, so we will enter 1 there. Line B says, enter 1 if you're single and only have 1 job, or you're married, have only 1 job, and your spouse doesn't work, or your wages from a second job, or your spouse's wages, or the total of both are $1,500 or less. Now, our case study client is single, and she only has 1 job, so we'll put 1 there. Line C, enter 1 for your spouse, but you may choose to enter 0 if you are married and have either a working spouse or more than 1 job. Our client is single, so we'll put 0 there. Line D, enter number of dependents other than your spouse or yourself you will claim on your tax return. Our client has 3 dependents, and she's going to claim all 3 on her tax return, so we'll enter 3 on line D. Line E, enter 1 if you will file as head of household on your tax return. We know that our client is eligible for the head of household filing status, so we'll put 1 there on line E. Line F, enter 1 if you have at least $2,000 of child or dependent care expenses for which you plan to claim a credit. Okay, we determined that our client has $4,200 child care expenses, so you would put 1 here on line F. Line G, child tax credit. If your total income will be less than $70,000, $100,000 if married, enter 2 for each eligible child, then less 1 if you have 2 to 4 eligible children, or less 2 if you have 5 or more eligible children. Now, line G can be a little tricky if you're not familiar with this form. Our client has 3 kids, and we know that her income is less than $70,000 because we said at the start of the video that her yearly income is $32,000. So you would multiply 3 times 2, and then we would less 1. 3 times 2 is 6, less 1 is 5. So we would list 5 here on line G. Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7 plus 5 is 12. So we would list 12 here. Now, the next thing we would do is complete this bottom portion, which is the portion that we'll actually submit to our employer. You will enter your first name here. We're going to make her Jane Doe. Her home address would be 1204 Dawson Street, Columbus, Georgia 31903. In box 2, you would list your social security number, and I'm just going to put all 1s just so I won't mistakenly list a real social security number. Okay, line 3, you would check if you're single, married, or if you're married but withhold at a higher single rate. So she is single, and we're going to check single. Now, if your last name is different from your social security card, you would check this box here, and you would call this number here for a replacement card. This is not the case for our client, so we're going to leave that line blank. Okay, line 5, it says total number of allowances you're claiming from line H above. All right, so we will go up to line H. Our total is 12. We'll bring that 12 down and list it there. Line 6 is for people that want an additional amount withheld from their paycheck. Some people that are in a higher tax bracket that wants to ensure that enough taxes are withheld throughout the year so they won't owe an additional amount at the beginning of the year. They will complete this line here. Let's just say I wanted to have an additional $100 withheld from my paycheck. I will put $100 there. But Jane is not in a higher tax bracket. She don't want an additional amount withheld. So we're going to leave line 6 blank. Now, line 7 is for people that are exempt. If you meet both of these conditions listed here for exemption, you would write exempt here. Jane does not qualify for exemption, so we are going to leave line 7 blank. Okay, after you've completed that, you would come down here and you would sign your name here, and you would date it here, and that's it. Now, this box under line H, this is for people that plan to itemize or claim adjustments to income. they would complete page 2. A lot of people aren't even aware or have never laid eyes on page 2. If you itemize your deductions versus taking the standard deductions, I would strongly suggest you completing page 2. I won't go over page 2 today because we won't have enough time, but if you itemize your deductions and you need assistance completing page 2, feel free to give me a call at 706-507-2481, or feel free to stop by and see me at MJ Tolbert Tax Firm. This form really isn't as complex or complicated as people make it seem. The more allowances you claim on Form W-4, the less income tax your employer will withhold. And if you claim 0 allowances, you will have the most tax withheld. Now I will advise you that there is a $500 penalty for supplying false information on this Form W-4. Now, before we end this video, I do want to say this. Each allowance reduces the amount withheld from your paycheck. If you choose to get all money due to you throughout the year by increasing your allowances, please don't expect a large refund when tax time comes around. It's your option. If you want to get your money throughout the year, you have that option. Or if you want to wait and get a big refund during tax time, that's your option as well. But just choose wisely. Don't be shocked when you get your estimates during tax season if you don't have a big refund because you've gotten your money throughout the year. All right. My name is Melinda Tolbert. I'm located at 1020 Peachtree Drive, Columbus, Georgia 31906. Our website is www.mjtax.com. And for assistance on any tax issues you may have, you can contact me at 706-507-2481. Be blessed.